Hello students, good morning. My name is Dr. Mallikarjun. In the continuation series of lectures in the operating system course, we are discussing today's topic, protection and security. We've seen the lot of videos in my previous lectures of basics of operating system like process versus thread, context switching, system calls. These are we see. But operating system requires security and protection. These are very essential in the part of the operating system. Protection and security. Protection and security requires that computer resources such as CPU as one resource, software as one resource, or memories or etc. as resources are protected. We need to protect all these resources we require as a safely. So we maintain a security. Protection is different, security is different. But these two done ensuring the integrity, confidentiality, and availability in the operating system. The system must be protected against unauthorized access. To protect while unauthorized access are viruses and worms, etc. These worms we have to make protection of the operating system. So, coming to protection and security, operating system manage both logical and physical resource to prevent interference with each other and unauthorized access from external sources. These methods are categorized as protection and security in the operating system. Computing resources such as CPU, disk, and memory are secured and protected by this management. These all can be accomplished by assuring the operating systems while using confidentiality, availability, integrity. These are the things we are learning in the major part to make the security, confidentiality. Confidentiality means the person who has given the resources, then only person can be give the chance to other persons, only they can access those resources. Availability means who are available and that persons only can access that resources. Integrity give the chance to those persons only to access the resources. See, the unauthorized issues will come like viruses, worms, and other threats. We have to prevent the virus, to prevent the worms, to prevent the threats. All these things must be preventing to ensuring the effective operating system. So, in first version of Windows operating system is a defects of virus, worms, and other. But Linux operating system is a virus-free operating system. Okay, let me see in the detail of the operating system. Protection and security are crucial for maintaining integrity and safeguarding resources from unauthorized access and misuse. Protection focuses on controlling access to resources and enforcing policies to prevent unauthorized actions within the system. Security encompasses broader range measures including protection mechanism, authentication, encryption, and policies to defend against external threats and vulnerabilities. External threats and vulnerabilities are the mainly cause of to defect the operating system, ensuring the operating system to unauthorized access of the system. So, in this unauthorized access comes or such as unauthorized access are virus, worms, threats. These all are unauthorized access. Let's see what are the unauthorized access. What are the or authorized access? In the context of operating system, protection and security both are related, but two distinct concepts. Protection refers to the mechanism that control access to resources within the system, ensuring that only authorized users and process can access them and that they are used as intended. Security, on the other hand, focuses on defending the system as a whole from external threats like malware and hackers. The external threats are there, internal threats are there. Internal threats, virus, these are internal threats. External threats like malware, hackers, those are external threats. And some other are malicious attacks, distributed denial of service attack, those are denial of attacks, DOS, those are malicious attacks. To prevent unauthorized access, modifications, or destruction of system resources by implementing access control mechanisms and enforcing policies. The three aspects we seen here, access control aspects. Access control is one of the key aspects. Authentication is one of the key aspects. Enforcement policy is one of the key aspects. Access control determining who can access what resources, what operations that can perform, that comes under the access control policies. Who can resource, who can access, those only can access. Coming to authentication means verifying the identity of users or process before granting the access. To verify the process before granting the access, we have given the authentication, then only that person only can access the resources. Those only give the chance, that is called authentication. Coming to enforcement of policies, ensuring that access rules and permissions are correctly applied. That permissions only give the enforcement of policies. Coming to the this is the authorization, authentication and authorization. The rules and giving the permissions only they can access and correctly apply. Yes. So finally, to prevent the authorization access or modifications, also give permissions or destruction of system resources to implement the three mechanisms like access control, authentication, enforcement of policies. Coming to internal effects like virus, a computer virus. See, this is the abbreviation word virus. Virus means vital information resource under siege. This is the word virus. Is a form of a malware or malicious software that transmits between computers and corrupts software and data. Generally, viruses are small pieces of code that are embedded in the system. Viruses, they can corrupt files, erase the data, crashed files. See, the name itself, vital information resource under siege. The name itself says that it making the extremely dangerous. The system totally crashed. The system could not work for further proceedings. Also, they can expand replication themselves. Coming to the external internal resources like threads, Trojan horse, trapdoor, these are also the extra viruses to harm the system. Those are Trojan horse is one of the dangerous affecting compared to virus. It secretly access the login details of the system. You can access the user ID or access the password. This is very harmful to other person, can take your data. So Trojan horse effects on user ID and password. Then a malicious user can use these to enter the system as a harmless being and cause destruction. Coming to trapdoor, is a secure break that may be present in a system without the knowledge of the users. A security break will come in the trapdoor. It can exploit it to harm the data or files in the system by malicious people has effect in the trapdoor is a security break. Coming to another protection, internal viruses are worm and denial of services. A worm can destroy system by using its resources to extreme levels. It can generate multiple copies which claim all the resources and do not allow any other process to access them. A worm can shut down a whole network in this way. The system should not work. It going to be goes to the shutdown. The resource could not be accessed all internal levels. The multiple copies of the resources can be shared with all other resources. All resource cannot work. Coming to denial of service, it is a very dangerous effect. Denial of service. It affects on software. So viruses and worm affect on hardware and software both, but denial of service is different than the remaining things. These type of attacks do not allow the authentic users to access a system or overwhelm the system with requires to the overwhelmed and cannot work properly for other users. So once denial of service very is insufficient of the other people can access the work to the current system. The main thing, protection and security, we implemented in the authentication and one-time password, two different methods that may provide protection security for different computer systems. You may be maintain authentication, but every time you log in the system, you will get the one-time password for to enter into the computer. So one-time password protection required from the internet connection through then get the one-time password. But authentication requires user ID and password to make the more secure with these two techniques. Authentication is the process of verifying the identity of a user, process or device. It's a critical security measure that confirms whether someone or something who or what they claim to be to make the claiming, to make your user ID and password claim to be. This is often a prerequisite for gaining access to the system resources or gaining access to the data. Totally depend in the authentication mode that the resources can be accessed by the those who have user ID and password. So this is very claiming this different to the authentication. Authentication deals with identifying each user in the system and making sure that they are who they claim to be. The operating system makes sure that all the users are authenticated before they can access the system. The different ways to make that user or authentic or it may be username or it may be a password. Each user has a distinct username and distinct password. By the combination of user ID and password, they need to enter it correctly before they can access the system. That's why individual users authentication of different user ID and passwords for different peoples, they are accessing the system. To sure that all the users are authenticated before they access the system, the user need to punch cards into the card slots or use the individual key on a keypad to access the system. The means that using the biometric to access the system, to access the particular resources. The biometric is the advanced version is the facial recognition. This is also things to access the resource. Coming to user attribute identification. Different user attribute identifications that can be used are fingerprint, eye retina, etc. are more scanning, more effective resource, more effective security purpose. We use this eye retina, etc. These are unique for each user and are compared with existing samples in the database. The advanced security we've seen in the blockchain technology. So, in the blockchain technology is a distributed ledger that should be a more immutability and effective, and a hashing technique should be implemented in the blockchain. That's the advanced version of the cryptography we've seen in the blockchain. So the operating system should support in the blockchain. Once blockchain should be implemented, the operating system must should be in internet connection. The simple mail transfer protocol should be established through the blockchain. Okay, the operating system supports user ID and password. The user can only access the system if there should be a match. Coming to the one-time password. These passwords provide a lot of security for authentication purposes. A one-time password can be generated exclusively for a login every time a user wants to enter the system. Every time a new user comes, its own password is different. This is the advanced version of the security implemented in the one-time password. It can be used more than once. The various ways of one-time passwords can be implemented are random numbers. The system can ask for the number that correspond alphabets are used. The one-time password example is a random numbers. The combinations can be changed each and every time the login values. You can use random numbers, or you can use images also you can log in. You can use or facial recognitions also can log in. You can use eye retina also can be log in. So these things to make more effective to access the system and more secure, the operating system supports more secure, then that operating system has evolved the recent version Windows 11 and Windows 12 operating system are more secure and more effective. In those days, our virus and Windows operating system, Windows 98 or Windows 2000, those are affected by the so many viruses. But current operating systems are updated versions. Windows 11 is a virus-free operating system. To overcome the viruses, worms, threats, Trojan horse, denial of service, these all are overcome by the advanced version of the operating systems. Linux is a virus-free operating system. Let me check the differentiate between protection and security. Protection deals with who has access to the system resources. Security gives the system access only to authorized users. Protection tackles the system internal threats. Security tackles the system, that is external threats. Protection addresses simple queries, but security is more complex queries are addressed in security. In protection specifies which files a specific user can access or view and modify, but security is defines who is permitted to access the system. An authorization mechanism is used in protection, then security used encryption and certification. Authentication mechanisms are implemented in the security. Encryption, decryption, cryptography, blockchain, those all are security but not protection. Means authorized mechanisms only is a protection. Protection provides a mechanism for controlling access to process, program, and user resources. But security provides a mechanism to safeguard the system resources and user resources from external users. That's a safeguard system resource mechanism is like a security. Okay, finally we discussed about the various protection mechanisms and various security mechanisms, but these are required for computer resources safely purpose such as CPU, memory, etc. It can be accomplished by assuring the operating system confidentiality and availability and integrity. These to be mainly depend on data, but data should be protected. The data where should be there in the resources. That resources has be safe. Your data should be the safe. So that protection tackles the system internal threats, while security tackles the system external threats. A program that malicious in nature and has harmful impacts on system called a threat. We learned some common threats such as virus, Trojan horse, worm, trapdoor, and denial of service. These are the common threats we seen. We have also discussed methods that can provide protection and security in different computers with different operating systems with different versions. Okay, students, we discussed all the details. Coming to the important of the secret key. The secret key as a hardware device can create secret key related to user ID for login. This key is a change each and every time. This is also one of the important part in protection and security is a secret key. So we collected this material based on the book Abraham Silverscraft and Galvin. This book titled Operating System Principles, Wiley Steady Edition Publisher, 8th edition. So, and also I referred the book William Stallings. This title of the book Operating Systems, Internals and Design Principles is the title. This is the 6th edition. We've seen the different difference of protection and security, different protection mechanisms and different security mechanisms of different versions of the operating systems. Okay, students, thank you. Thank you for watching this video.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.